Nice chat.
Well, I can say you're successfully live.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. Since we're sky and ocean, so they're drowning.
I like your leg. It was a short panel. Joe? No, I just drew it out overnight.
Can you teach me how to do that?
I can't. It's a lie. No, we're cosplaying. Just as our own characters. You look great this year.
What I love about this new invention is we have friends and fans who will show up thinking this is and then food will appear if I say no.
You're going to say yes because they know you're loving it. Oh, you're eating. Never mind. No, I didn't. It's like being a wild animal.
Ben's had his colors.
We were at this dinner last night and this plate with this massive 16-ounce steak. I'm proving a point here.
16 ounces is only 1 pound, Sarah.
I know, but I'm so picturing, like, I mean, 4 ounces.
It's like half a bag.
In your hand, so it's like 4 palms.
That's at least 100.
Tiger has to eat his half his body weight. Ben does it every year.
Guys, come on, let's not skinny shame it.
No, I'm saying that he never has time for anything similar consumption of calories.
You know what? I moved to Canada and I've been eating and getting healthcare and exercise and sleep. It really helps me across the board quality of It sounds like I'm joking, but it's actually amazing. Like emergencies happen and they have to deal with it because sorry guys. Well, it depends on how far north you go because of the cold.
Special poutine exemption.
There's no poutine exemption, there's only poutine. It's all worth it. Who's the main reason I immigrated?
Who is that famous Canadian mystic who's the Tsarina of Russia?
Brian Adams?
I was going to say Rasputin, but
Wow.
The other dad joke.
Okay, can we talk about this for a minute? Because all of a sudden, we're being accused of dad jokes. We were telling these jokes decades before we were dads. Nothing has changed.
except your dad is now. I have a fear about this. Is that when a cohort begins figuring out its humor, it's young and it's fresh and whatnot. And the problem is they don't change their humor. So the newer cohort learns it and associates it with corniness. Because if you look at the stuff that was passed for stand-up in the 50s and 40s, it was corny by the 60s and 70s, which was corny by the 80s and 90s, and which is when we started.
And now all that stuff in the 80s and 90s is offensive.
Or
Corny, yeah.
or offensive.
That's actually a religion.
That's an excellent point. It's like comedy and
history. And the history of comedy.
And things like special on TV now. Yeah.
I know, I've been watching it. It is awesome.
Is it on Netflix?
CNN is on CNN. I watch CNN like half the day now. Since Maggie started working in the mornings, I sit home and watch the news and cry. No, it's okay. It makes me feel again. that much happier when she gets home.
Yay, happy Maggie.
So hi, welcome to our informal fan symposium panel. Last year we had a big presentation and a ton to announce, and the news this year is we did the thing.
All right, see you next year. Good job, everyone.
So if you remember last year, great. Yeah.
Good job, everyone.
That's right.
No, in reality, I'd love to kind of take you through where we are, what we're doing, and then just get back to bantering and committing dad puns.
No, that's right. OC knows where it's at. You read the agenda.
It's true. It's on page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8. I can do this all.
Yeah, but now we can count.
Our agenda.
In theory, something gets funnier the more times you repeat it.
Okay, well, wait for page 13.
That was actually your turn.
Page 15. Can you tell us the last day of Gen Con yet? It's a working brain. All right. So, updates. We announced a lot of stuff last year. We announced that we would be merging with Dead Gentleman Productions.
Did it?
That has been complete. Yep, did it. We are now one company. We are collaborating. We're getting along.
We're making new
We're
stuff.
making new stuff. And part of what's super cool is that it's allowed us to universally apply some of our new ideas to the properties. And I think one of the biggest ones is the SCULA. That's right. You get it.
Can you say SCULA, everybody?
So it's the Shared Cinematic Universe License Agreement, SCULA, which you can read online at scu.ls. And we basically kind of took what we learned from Creative Commons and Open Gaming License and created our own cinematic version, and we have now released the world of Fartherall, the world of Demon Hunters, and the world of Strowlers under the SCULA. And what it allows you to do is it's full access to RP. It tell your story. If you want to make a game based on it, you don't have to ask for our permission. You have to license. You can just go out and play and create and be inspired by our worlds. You can release it for free. You can sell it. You own the copyright to what you create. Yay, have fun.
Want to do your own version of the gamers? Now you can.
And you can do it within the world of Fartherall, where Journey Quest and Gamers take place. The main rule with that is it's basically a share alike. So if you play with any of the properties using that license, you have to use your work under the same license. And what that allows us to do is to create stories in dialogue and in community. And what we found already, for those of you who've been following Strowlers, this will be familiar, but we shot the pilot in Seattle, and we knew we were going to do something like this license. And so, that's true. And then a friend of mine showed an early cut of the Strowlers pilot to her friends who are shamans in Mongolia. And they said, wow, this us. And invited us out, and we ended up shooting urban fantasy in Ulaanbaatar,
Like you do.
Strowlers, and now they're working on continuing the story. So that's the kind of connections that are super exciting, and we just kind of let go of holding on to copyright in the traditional sense and saying, you know, all of you have been supporting, that's next
Smart.
have been supporting and making our works possible for so long, and this is one way that we can kind of say, you know what, we're doing this together, here it is, it's open. It's a 2-page human readable agreement. It's available at SCULA. So that's kind of the first really big piece of news. Any questions? Places where we can clarify?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys understand the depth of how actually exciting this is. There's no excitement in your voice. And I know it's early, but this is huge.
Oh, but it's
I mean,
Sunday.
I was able to do this when I was, watching your stuff back in, the late 90s, early 2000s. First of all, I never met you. because I would have been too busy making my own stuff all the time. It's so cool.
Now tell us something that we want to hear. Because we don't want to hear that you were never part of this.
That's not what I mean. It's just that there's so much opportunity now. Like,
Let's not jump to conclusions too.
the stories inside these worlds, in any way you want to do it, even being able to sell them is giant. Like, anybody else who tried to do that too would sue the pants off.
Yes. How many
Make a Star Wars fan.
How many are you there? How many of you are papers? So, I mean, is it fair to say that at least at some point in your life, if not currently, you've either been in a campaign or run a campaign or done something that has taken place in a world that someone else originated? You know, whether through a module or...
Every time you say?
And what Ben is describing now is an opportunity for the wider ZOE fan base to be a part of that kind of collaborative, creative process. Do you follow right now?
Yeah.
Something that I really like about it is that we are only so many people. We don't have the bandwidth to do all the cool things that other talented people have the bandwidth to do. Like, we don't have all the list of things that we want to make because the company is huge and we're just, only so many people. So please, make things.
Yeah, for years people have been coming up to us in the booth and online and saying, hey, what can we do to help? Other than just supporting you. Like, how do I get involved in this? Now you can just hand us your resume by showing us what you made, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah. It's super cool. I hope that you are all great.
Someone switch Ben to positive.
Someone turns on the safe mode.
All right, so Heather.
Safe mode there.
Yes, I saw a question.
Is there a way for people, because people have ideas
Yeah.
and they want to make them, is there any kind of central location where people can get together to help create these?
Join our Discord.
Yes, there are several answers. So,
Discord.
We've been building a whole kind of interconnected community of resources and sites. It includes Discord, where you can talk directly with us and where you can coordinate with other fans in a real-time basis. It's very hard to keep track of all of it. And you will never catch up with Chris Odie's score.
Actually, do you know that you were in first place for 45 minutes? Right before you went on vacation. Somebody noticed it. And it had hard to tell you until now.
That's not the part. Just being an ass.
Bastard. You know what Discord is? Is that,
My husband uses it, by the way.
okay, the short version, I'm going to give you the most, broken down, not because of you, but because I don't really understand it, which might actually be helpful in this case. My understanding that it basically began as a way for online gamers to better coordinate, raids and things like that. So it combines a lot of text-based chat interaction, video chat interaction, audio-based, etc. So you can use it for video conferencing, teleconferencing, which we actually use sometimes for business meetings. But then it also has a lot of different channels in there for conversations. And so the ZOE Discord in particular is filled with places where you can talk about, Journey Quest, you can talk about Metaverse, you can talk about any
Travel to Metaverse at your own peril. Metaverse page is not to be trifled with.
But it's a great place then to interact with other people, to learn, get caught up, know what's going on, and also to help contribute to those conversations. And it's actually pretty easy to find. There's an app for, it's a website, but there's also, there's an app you can have on your smartphone or, use other devices. And if you go to our Twitter or our Facebook pages, and we should probably add it to Instagram.
Probably.
In the description section of ZOE on those pages, you'll see a link you can hit that'll take you straight there.
We also want to list on our booth that says
Yes.
something about the social medias.
The other
I've seen
piece,
it.
And your
Also, we have a tattoo on our neck.
the other piece of it is, so Patreon has an API that communicates with other platforms. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you're able to get into Discord and they get access to special channels immediately through there. And we'll talk about some of the other Patreon. Well, actually, one of them now. So in addition to the Patreon, to the Discord, Patreon supporters at $1 a month and up can do this to avoid spam, can log in, use a Patreon to log into our wiki and can contribute directly there to any articles or stuff or missing pieces for any and all of our properties. So that's a very powerful tool for adding your content to the world. And we have a programmer go in and develop a special category and setup for the wiki so that we can tag content as canon and even search canon content. So if you're in there and you're contributing something to it and we look at it and say, whoa, that's awesome, we'll just throw a canon tag on it and it's official.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out the wiki, the ZOE's wiki, there you go. It is a great resource for getting up to date on anything that we have created thus far. And we have several talented fans that have done an amazing job writing up on it. And actually, they've done such a good job that when our live stream starts in a week,
They're going to know more than you.
yeah, I'm actually going to use it as a cheat sheet to get myself back up to speed.
It's like, what did I miss on this show?
Or what do I not remember?
Yes, oh, we did that. Okay.
Yeah, we have one fan who's written fanfic for us, and it was so good that we just said it was canon for our live show. That's exactly what happened.
I actually just upgraded her. She now has the ability to mark works on the wiki as canon.
Oh, nice.
That's good. She better talk to me about some of that first.
That's what we're hoping to do with the SCULAs is
Yeah.
you make something and we love it, like, that's fantastic, we never considered those angles.
Yeah.
Let's make that canon.
Right.
You just contributed to the.
Hey, fix the idea. We're stealing it.
No, we're sharing.
We're sharing. It's all, we are now, we're kind of now all bound by this agreement. We can all share equally. So you can take and remix our stuff too. Read the agreement, it's 2 pages.
It's not that.
No. No, it's in. So part of what we're doing to help support this, so we finished up and published the full kind of source book world Bible for Strowlers. Everything that you need to know in order to tell your stories and play in that world. This is also all available for free on the wiki, but we know that sometimes fans like to have great things. We're Journey Quest 3.5. A big part of our plan there is to fund Matt creating a similar deluxe world Bible for Fartherall to make it easy to play in that world, and there will be a Hunters one as well. So
That's
the
one
goal
of-
is you can get the whole set of.
And that's one that will scale depending on how the Kickstarter goes. It's like we have the stubs on all 9 of the ages that can be expanded out depending on how things go, all different races and histories and peoples and whatnot, essays on magic and dragons and how yeah, it's
There's so many cool stretch goals.
yeah, it's a matter of you want to actually put into words all the stuff you've been playing for the last 15 years. Yeah, exactly. Well, that would be in the epics there.
Yeah, so that will live on the wiki because we really want all of our content to be available for free and accessible, but you'll also have the opportunity to give us money and help support us in that.
It would be cool.
We have a bunch of these and people can go buy them. Actually, I'm totally serious because these were mainly a Kickstarter exclusive, and then we had a small amount for Gen Con, and that's a lot of gun ones are going to go for.
I gotta give you one.
Can I get another number?
Buy me one.
Okay.
I'll pay you one.
Well, and then I guess just to rephrase it and make sure everyone's on the same page, what he's really describing then, to put it again in gamer terms, is what we're describing is basically, the DMG and PHP wrapped together for our film worlds, for these universes.
But the rules only take up 2 pages.
Oh,
The rest of it's lore.
And they're legal.
you know what that means? No falling damage.
It's so true. Gravity doesn't even exist in our worlds anymore. So as we're talking about this different platforms, so we have the wiki integration, we have the Discord integration. So we've just officially launched the Fantasy Network. And it took us about 18 months to really get this put together. Its plans are prior streaming video things. So right now it's sort of like Netflix for independent fantasy, but we built all of the fundamental technology so that it can evolve into a complete platform for shared cinematic universes. So you can upload your own content, so you can link to the wiki so that it's kind of a cohesive, interactive ecosystem. And so as part of that, we had a couple of devs who just didn't sleep last week. We completed the Patreon integration. So if you're a Patreon supporter at $5 or higher, you can automatically log into and access and watch everything on Fantasy Network on iOS, on Android, on Roku, on Amazon Fire. It's a perk of your subscription. That's awesome. And it's not just our content. We partnered with Aerostorm Entertainment, who does the Mythical films. We partnered with Forge, who does the Rangers and the Fellowship. We have Walking Circles on there. One Hit Die, which we'll talk about in a bit, is on there. Standard Action is on there. AFK is on there. And a big part of what we're doing is we're bringing these independent creators. Is our goal is to bring the indie fantasy community together so that we can really effectively support each other. And one of the keys for that then, through the Fantasy Network, we'll be running a series of Kickstarter campaigns to help shows that got stuck keep going. So we're talking with let's bring back Walking in Circles. So we're working with them on that. And let's get One Hit Die and AFK out and all these other fan favorites. And so we're launching that with a Kickstarter campaign for One Hit Die, which Maggie's going to talk about momentarily.
Oh, I am.
The point I want to make for One Hit Die that relates to this topic is we've set it up so that so as new people come in, One Hit Die fans come in, let's say they pledge $25, they get a subscription to the Fantasy Network. The film premieres on the Fantasy Network, so all of a sudden these new fans can watch One Hit Die and then say, ooh, what else can I stream with this subscription? So it makes it so much easier for us to share and watch all of this content and find what else we love. Yes?
Are all of these different creators going to be joining the SCULA agreement, or is that just that gentleman that talked about?
Some of these creators are going to, and some are not. And what we're doing is really weird for the film industry. We have no idea if it's going to work. Like Strowlers has been my passion project for 10 years. I created Zombie Orpheus so I can make Strowlers eventually. And what's terrifying now is we're getting ready to we spent all this money and now we're just going to give the pilot away for free. We're going to give the commercial rights away for free and trust that it will work. And that's legitimately scary, even with the experience we've had. So for other filmmakers, I think it's really going to be a question of them looking at how does this go for the first few years? Does this destroy Zombie Orpheus and Dead Gentlemen? Are we totally gone because we gave it away in a few years? Or are we stronger and doing better and creating more? Let's talk about One Hit Die.
Yeah, so One Hit Die is a great little show out of Canada. They have finished season 3, finished filming it, but post-production is not done. So
Needs some help.
Needs some help. This is actually not like a really big Kickstarter. It's $22,000 because they need to finish post-production. And it's very fun. It's Lord of the Rings meets The Office. My favorite thing is so when Ben hired me to the crowdfunding manager position for.
By the way, Maggie's going to be, I'm training Maggie as my crowdfunding replacement, and she's working on JQ 3.5 and all kinds of other
But so he asked me to do it, and then he told me about One Hit Die, so I thought, okay, well, I have to watch it. So I started watching it, and at one point, Torvald the Rogue said, "Saw this," and I went, "What?" And I paused it, and I was like, "Gretchen, Matt Mansell wrote that, right? This is Matt Mansell's thing. It's not a real thing, right?" And then I called, and I was like, "Ben, they stole our stuff."
I stole it from Blackadder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, what do I do? And then Ben mentioned to me that actually Spencer and all of those people are actually huge fans of ZOE.
And of Standard Action.
And of Standard Action. And so as I started watching, I saw like those little Easter eggs.
Yeah, little callbacks to the shows. They're big fans.
To what we've done, which I thought was really cool, and it made me want to help them even more, because it wasn't just a random show that I had been thrown, it was like a connector.
The big sad thing is we were working on sending, so the first episode of season 3, here's some spoilers for One Hit Die, starts with an obnoxious bard who gets killed several times. And we worked so hard at trying to get Scott C. Brown out there to play that role.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the filming schedule at the last minute changed and we couldn't do it, but it would have been the ultimate Easter egg.
It would have, yeah. But anyways, it's a really good Kickstarter, and especially since now that we are the Fantasy Network, or part of it, a lot of people, they're like, well, where's Journey Quest? Where's the next gamers? And for us, we have to get through multiple projects to get to those projects. So it is like climbing a ladder. And so honestly, like helping us with little backing at the $25 level or something small is going to actually spreading the word is going to be really, really helpful. I think we only have 4 days left in the Kickstarter.
And
5 days.
yeah, and we don't want our first Fantasy Network Kickstarter
To fail.
I think we have a shot, but it's a challenge. And a lot of it comes down to what we've experienced over and over again is it's really hard to get people to watch new content.
It is. I don't want to watch new things usually. I'm a grumpy old woman.
Well,
I don't like watching new things unless my friends are like, this is amazing, you have to try it.
It's
those
to the
friends.
point where people like come up to the booth and say, okay, I don't care about the rest of this crap, but I love Journey Quest.
Yeah.
Or I love all your stuff, but why would I watch another awesome
Yeah.
gaming comedy? Can you produce faster, please? There's a disconnect.
There is.
Maggie, you said something there on the sharing in relation to the Kickstarter that kind of got me thinking about how people are often asking what they can do to help. And, Ben, you basically talked about that earlier. We talked about now with the SCULA, with the wiki, things like that. Well, yes, Christian, you were the first person to ever say those words. But
It's linked to his Pantene Pro Vegan.
But, sorry, can we be fair? We call it Pastor College.
Yeah, I said Pastor, it's been like.
Carry on.
so, the thing is people are looking for what they can do to help. And I know we say this all the time, but just to say it again, I cannot overstate how helpful it is when people do the simple action of talking to other people about what we do, whether it is in person or via whatever your preferred form of social media is. I know it seems like those little likes and shares and replies, whatever else, may not seem like that much.
They mean everything.
But when it comes to every one of them out there, whether you're talking Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever the latest thing is that was just invented and failed in 5 minutes, any one of those things, they all have their little personal pet algorithm as to how they let anyone else see what you do. And most of it is going to be based on how much traction it's getting, how many people are actually actively engaging with it, as opposed to just seeing it moving on. So I made a simple thing that people can always do that does help us dramatically and costs nothing.
The bagel kicked in, and I'd like to translate. They were in a battle for their lives against the Facebook and Twitter algorithms, which were determined to downgrade their material and make sure that no one would be able to see it. And only the power of the crowd could overcome the algorithm and get the word out.
Let's go!
Okay, Brad, roll for initiative.
Was that allegorical?
I'm getting
Reason day 10 or 20.
I will say, if you haven't seen One Midnight, you can go to thefantasy.network now without a subscription at all, and you can watch seasons 1 and 2. We have given that to you for free.
on your phones. We have apps.
Yeah, so you can go there and check it out if you want. Or just get people like if someone's, I haven't seen the show and I don't want to pay to watch seasons 1 and 2 to see if I want to do season 3. You know what I mean? It's free. We're giving it to you right now.
And a big part, honestly, it's costing us a lot of money per month to keep the Fantasy Network going. But because we are fan supported, that's what allows us to essentially to not have to say, oh my goodness, we have to make so much money on subscriptions to keep going. It's because our Patreon supporters and our subscribers are already supporting it. That is what allows us to now say, thanks for your support, let's keep it free so that other people can discover it easily.
Maybe
And
that's
aside
based
from
on the ladder.
Yeah. We were talking about the ladder, we're talking about the order of projects. We launched another table, which is now linked up on zombieorpheus.com last week.
Yes.
So it's like, have any of you ever seen a feature feature request or issues tracker form for like tracking web bugs. We launched one of those for our movies. So there's one page now that lists every project we have. It has tags. You can see exactly what stage of development is. You can see what's next in the queue. And you can click to vote so that we can see what people are interested in. And you can add your own suggestions. So we have some awesome fan pages for projects that have appeared on there that are getting a lot of votes out too, like a gamer's sanity check based on like Lovecraftian or
And also, Nathan Jello wrestled a goat for some reason.
Because he keeps voting for it.
and because the SCULA now exists, like a lot of traditional film companies cannot listen to any ideas because there's this fear of being sued if something gets used. But basically say, by participating in this, you agree to the terms of the SCULA, which then again puts all of us on the level playing field, so we don't have to say, I'm sorry, I can't hear your pitch. It's like, let's talk about cool stories! Well, that thing was working.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the Muppet arms, but it is encouraged.
Yeah, so that issue tracker is on the, it's linked from our webpage, it's in the top menu, and it's a really excellent way to see exactly the status of every project. And
Also linked to Discord.
yeah. Whoa. What about Facebook?
That's where I found it.
Which is linked to Discord.
Yeah. So that's kind of the overview of a lot of the technology. We talked about one hit die.
Do you know that we do a streaming show every week?
Let's talk about streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah! All right. So yeah, a lot of, I think you guys been to Gamers Live before? So you know we do that almost every week. Yep. On Twitch. Yeah, we have our own show there. We want to do more. 2 shows.
We haven't started it back yet.
Right. Well, I'm only kind of the ones we're actually doing right now.
It's on the way.
Yeah, it is on the way. But again, we need more people watching it so we can afford to do both shows.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 others that are getting ready to be done as well.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 ready.
Well, that means 6. Okay,
See?
6.
I got one. Yeah, Matt has one. I have a Strowlers one.
See, we've got all these shows that we can stream. We just
So
need,
excited to go back from here and not sleep again.
yeah, we just need enough eyes on them so we can, have those views so people will watch them.
We had a lovely partnership with Hyper RPG, and they've been fantastic to work with. But as they moved their studio exclusively down to LA, it ended up making more sense for us to open our own sales studio. So we're still on wonderful terms with Hyper. They're
Oh
great
yeah,
friends.
love those guys.
Yeah, in fact, their CEO, for those of you who knew the last year and a half or so, our first foray into the live streaming were through a Twitch-based company, Hyper RPG.
Yeah.
And that relationship, we had to change it about midway through this year for some stuff on their end. But to give an example, Ben was saying their CEO was our technical director for a bunch of stuff we did this weekend. I mean, we still get along just fine.
But
Like
we now
you
need
said the same thing.
we now need to rebuild the streaming audience in order to become sustainable on our own.
And we really like doing it, and it's super funny.
And what's great about it is the way that you guys have built the Twitch show is that you guys get to affect us in the show you haven't watched.
In real time.
In real time. I mean,
And other shows have tried it, but we are the best at it.
we're good gamers, so
There are other shows that have different mechanics, think about control and stuff. Our show takes it so far beyond that. Like, you control the show. It's your show. You're just watching it. It's great.
yeah, I mean, for Masters of the Metaverse, at least there's a slider where we can move as characters, but we can't move unless you guys have tipped in. And so there's no meta point. I am stuck using terrible dice. Horrible dice. But then the best one being the hack attack, which is a...
Where you just take control of the round and be like, yeah, we love it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hack attack. Oh, sure. Sure, we did a 4-episode arc set in Portugal that we managed to complete in only 6 episodes. End of the adventure. we received a hack attack that involved another flash flood with the main villains. And due to a rule of cool, which Christian's character won, which meant it succeeded at 150%, he managed to launch a bit of oblivion water in a tube from the river Oblivion in Fartherall, which exists in a quantum state. It probably wasn't going to be active when he used it, in one of the NPC's mouths, and then thunder punched it and destroyed it. Because it was a rule of cool, it succeeded at 150%. And due to the drinking of the water of the river Oblivion, that character never existed. That character was the original quest giver, and they just undid 17 and a half hours of gameplay.
We literally broke his game.
Well, the other piece to that puzzle is we had agreed beforehand that anything that took place was canonical.
Canon in Fartherall.
We saved the
So
cat.
that really happened.
But then,
It got better.
We had fixed it in the last 20 minutes.
Of the last episode, yeah.
Priceless.
Fix. It's held together with duct tape and rubber bands, but we fixed it.
And if you do tip it, we do a message system, so you can type us a message and we can hear it.
Yeah, we need to hear it.
Or if you want to interact with
Some people say some really messed up stuff.
Not them. My favorite part of the live stream of this game is to interact with chat. Like if I'm not on that day, I like helping chat and trolling with chat. Oh yeah. And like chatting with chat is one of the best parts of streaming. I love watching.
Sweet, all the characters have superpowers, but chat is the most
I
powerful
really love
character.
that. They're fun. It's a community. Everybody in chat loves each other and they don't know each other.
Chat is a chaotic neutral toddler with an atom bomb.
Thank you for fixing the echo, by the way, when the speaker comes over.
yeah.
It's nice and clean now. It's a lot
What
better.
I love about the streaming is I can sit alone in front of my computer in Canada where I don't have any friends yet,
That's right.
and I can watch them having fun while I'm working.
you literally started this thing off. You literally started this thing off by talking about how happy you were that you were on the other side of the border from. It lets you get away with that.
Oh, I can have it both ways.
Yeah. Hypocrisy is for everyone. White guy.
I've activated so much white privilege this morning.
That thing is so broken.
So talking of the live streaming as well, for those of you who have watched it or who have thought about it or such, so we do currently have a studio space for using in Tacoma. Realistically, it's not a long-term.
It's too small.
It's quite small. This stage is twice as big.
It's about twice as big as this stage.
Yeah. So that'll be one of our goals following Gen Con. However, the intention is to make any kind of transition like that in a way where we don't have to go offline for more than the bare minimum amount of time. So we're up and running now, and the goal is just to be continuous on having content at least weekly, if not more so.
But we would love to get a couple extra days on the stream, just because it gives us something to do.
Yeah, we're not looking to become full-time streamers, frankly.
When would you make movies?
Well, I mean, that's part of it. But
You stream for like 3 to 6 hours a day. That is the rest of
one of the things that's great about doing this live streaming is it's given us so many opportunities to reconnect. For some of us, we've known each other for 5, 10, 20 years, and at the same time, time has passed, life has moved on, and there haven't always been these opportunities for us to stay close. And it's been like having a regular game, because it is a regular game session. And it's also allowed us creatively to identify folks who we didn't necessarily know had stories to tell. We didn't necessarily know, how these people fit into all the stuff we were doing when it came to film or web series, things like that. Has created new outlets for people to create.
And having that weekly contact, I mean, if you've watched Gamers Live the last couple of years, you could notice a giant jump in the quality. Because we work together every week now. We see each other every week. We're used to bouncing off each other all the time. So even though we are so busy that we don't have time to practice for a giant show for 1,000 people, we know how to work together well enough because we're so used to it that things just come much faster and easier.
Without streaming, we would have no peace.
Right, because that streaming wouldn't have.
Yeah, we started, so that's from above. The other streaming show is, we swear, coming back.
Battle time!
Massive process right now of getting the masks that we want from the guy who makes the masks the best. And, they're coming, that's on the way. And basically, that's the only thing holding us back. Summer schedules and the masks.
The beta app, right?
The beta app, I think he wants to start even sort of before we get that, but he's already commissioned AJ and to start working on it. And the thing with the beta app is he wanted to give them money because they were doing it for free. And he's like, this is a huge thing, we need to give them money for it. So we've, I think, paid for them to start doing it and it will be ready soon.
Cool.
Yeah, soonish.
I'm ready. Can't wait to be an ordinary barbarian pirate.
You're so But anyway, Keeson came on the battle tech. That was the first, I think that was our first Keeson. Yes, battle tech.
Yeah.
And Tammy.
And
Tammy, yeah.
He has a great idea for a Gold Girls role-playing game.
Yes, he does.
Ooh.
Oh, excellent.
You're blanched.
You gotta have good
Who
princess
else would I
vibes.
be, John?
I'm assuming that'd be Rose.
So this will now,
I know.
for the next hour, this will be exclusively a Golden Girls panel.
I'd like to thank you all for being a friend.
Yeah.
Now come back again. Your heart is true.
Yeah, actually, something that Sarah mentioned here, and this is my first time at the Fan Symposium, so maybe I'm repeating information. But what Sarah just said is that, Matt really wants to pay them for helping us, for making this content for us. And that's something that I've seen Zombie Orpheus grow from, which is a lot of us would dedicate our time, and we made a decision that, no, that's not okay, everyone's getting paid. And that's part of the reason that the quality of everything has gone up as well. We hire makeup artists who are really good at their job, they get paid, and we give them that respect.
And that's entirely because of your support.
And
Yeah,
it-
we wouldn't be able to do that. There would be no Journey Quest 2, no Journey Quest 3.
Right. And so one, thank you, but also, people have come up and been like, hey, why are your Kickstarters, why do they keep going up? Like, well, part of that is we want to pay everyone. There are people who, filming Journey Quest 3, they take 3 weeks off of work to do that. You know what I mean? First of all, they're probably getting in trouble at work. But also, they deserve that respect, they deserve that payment.
At least until we're able to move to a post-money Star Trek style system.
Right. That's anyway, thank you for
We're
allowing
planning for it.
us to do that. Thank you for being awesome fans and supporting us and allowing us to have a living and not just, bust on the street when we're not filming.
Now we know we busted on the live stream.
That's my favorite part. We get to write new songs every week.
So that's live streaming. We talked about the various platforms. I think it would be useful to talk about the status of our upcoming projects and what you can expect and what you look for. So we have 4 projects that are basically that we know we're doing coming up. That includes Journey Quest Season 3.5, which Matt will talk about. It includes a new episode from Gamers Series, which Matt or I will talk about.
I think you will talk.
Okay, fine. It includes a new Strowlers episode.
Cool.
And what's the other? Might make a war off.
Demon Hunters?
Red Tape is still in development. Journey Quest 4.
Right.
Quest 4. Yeah.
All right.
So who wants to talk about Journey Quest?
All right, so the rest of Journey Quest is written. Season 25.
Awesome.
And thank yourself. That was funded through ZOE's Patreon.
Yeah.
So they're done. They are ambitious. They are what you expect from the series, and it brings, I think Ben's the other one who's read both of them. We haven't shared 5 with the cast. We've shared 4 with the cast. That it ends in a manner that is quite satisfying and completes the story. It's not like we're stopping because we're out of money or we're out of ideas. It completes it. It's fantastic. We love it. It's also ambitious. So ambitious that season 4 is one based on what we can reliably raise on crowdfunding. We would have to cut a number of storylines, which we don't want to do.
The same way we had to cut a bunch from season 3 and a few things from season 2.
Still so sad about that.
Well, we're gonna try to fix that.
We're going to fix that. So we looked at options for how do we do this? Do we do this as part, do we take those things, do we do this as a comic? Do we make those stretch goals on a Kickstarter? And then came up with the idea, what if we released a half season or a mini season, a JQ 3.5? Because familiar with Journey Quest, there's like 7 or 8 different storylines that most of them intersect. However, in 4, there are 2 or 3 of them that don't intersect with the rest. So that means we can extract those from the season 4 script, make those, have to do with the orcs, we're bringing part of the unpleasant back. Yeah.
The dog fans over there.
Bring those together, tell those stories.
My favorite.
Release those to the backers, and then when we start Journey Quest 4, we just cut those in to the wider show. But also said, well, wouldn't that be a great opportunity to do this Farther World Bible as well? So the JQ 3.5 would be, we're going to take care of the stuff we would have to cut otherwise, and you then get to see early. Potentially see some of the stuff from 3 that had to be cut.
Exactly. So, I mean, there were scenes that we cut from 2, there were scenes that we cut from 3, and scenes that we would clearly have to cut from 4 and 5. And 3.5 allows us to fill in all of those.
Fill in all of those. And also develop the world out, get it written down into a Bible that you can then go out and, because of SCULA, make your own stuff set in Farther World.
Yeah, and I don't make those sound like they're unimportant, like storylines.
No, they're not.
These are like following some of our absolute favorite characters.
There's no fat in Journey Quest. We're shaving bone. I mean, from a narrative perspective, Journey Quest is this weird hybrid beast that needs to, I mean, its episodes are native to the internet, right? So they need to be 5 to 7 minutes, no longer. Stick with the group for 2 to 3 minutes. Cut away before that gets stale. Resolve the cliffhanger from the previous episode. Hang the cliff on that episode, and end so that it ends with sort of the bag of chips model of episode. That was great. I need another. That was great. I need another. You never want the audience to be satisfied. Because if they're satisfied, they can say, "I don't need the next episode," and that's death for a web series. But it also has to fit the feature film length, so that when it's done, we can cut it together and put it out on a streaming service like Amazon Prime, which brings in new fans. So it's got to live in this weird one foot in one world, 1 foot in the next, which makes the writing of it very complicated, which also makes it hard to extract some of the story.
Fictionalists do it.
Right. So if we did wind up having to cut some of this stuff, the story would suffer because of it. And an example I'll give you of that is the orcs' entrance in season 3, when they're just there at the town. And they're talking about how they had found some stuff in the Temple of All Dooms and they did the potions and whatnot. In the original season 3 script, we saw the orcs in the Temple of All Dooms. They arrived as basically the employees were looting it because their boss is dead. And Glorians demolished everything. And over the course of, and there's this character moment where Gromlock and Yard saying to Rill, "Oh, we tried. I guess it's time to go back. It's close to the winter and whatnot." But Rill presses on, and in the library finds a human and orcish phrase book. And then they use some of the stuff they find in the temple to catch up to the party. We had to cut that. We tried to fix it in dialogue. It's not elegant. It's clunky because we had to change it last minute because it turns out we couldn't afford those days and an extra bill. But that's the kind of that's how the story suffers when we're not able to do everything in something that is so tightly woven.
But it's the same situation with, they're in the closet, and 2 of the orcs disappear, and we have no idea what happened to them because we had to cut the scenes that show where they ended up.
Which
Which
would be
is so good.
Yep. And it has this backlogging effect where it's like, okay, the rest of Gromlock and Yard's storyline that was cut from 3 gets front loaded into 4, which increases that page count.
Yeah.
You can probably guess where they wound up.
Anyone? Where do you think they ended up? Oh, and you're gonna so excited.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So the other deal with Journey Quest, as we kind of stagger this out, is of course Journey Quest and the gamers happen in the same world.
Yes.
But about 1,000 years.
About 1,000 years apart. Journey Quest are the events in the 4th age. Everything that we've seen of Farther Wall in the gamers movies is taking place in the 5th age. So Journey Quest is actually a prequel in many ways to the gamers film.
But we Matt and I have had some very fun conversations where we've kind of figured out the interwoven reveals that we have staged, and so part of what we have to do now is release upcoming Journey Quest and Gamers episodes in the right order so that the reveals stack, so that when we kind of wrap it all up, you'll suddenly realize, holy crap, they just told one coherent, complete story from the original Gamers all the way through.
Now, did you know that when you made the original game?
No. If you remember from the original Gamers, when we came with the idea of the sequel to Gamers, I said, no, that's dumb, we killed everyone.
I'm so glad you changed your mind.
You were so reluctant to.
I didn't understand it.
There was a group of us that had to sit down and start kind of storyboarding the early ideas for it, because you were 100% opposed to writing a sequel to it.
A direct sequel to the game.
Yeah.
So we went an indirect sequel, and then the world kind of lost.
Yeah. But, so, I mean, it's been a process partially of putting in clues that we realized would pay off later, and then we reached the point, especially with Journey Quest, where we realized, okay, we see the elements, we see how this all ties together. Here's this one element that we have to retcon that, and we'll never tell you what it was, to make it as kind of the linchpin. But now it all consistently fits together, and I think 2 or 3 of us know how it does. So if you take us all out, it's good.
Is it the skull?
There are any plans for and so perfect that take place in this world. I've listened to a lot of books like NPCs, which is all these fantasy books that are basically role-play based. They all fit right in line with your genre, sort of style.
Yeah, that's mentioned the whole lit RPG genre as well.
Really, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I love lit RPGs, and I'd love to see them in Journey Quest.
We certainly could. While we're completing the Journey Quest arc and its story, the rest of the age is full and open. Like that's one of the things that we've planned with Strowlers, have multiple ages so that we can reuse the setting with different changes, different technological advances, different combinations of peoples and history and gods and whatnot, to tell different stories with the same in the same world. Like all the Fourth Age, much of that is the orcs are a dangerous presence and the wicked kings have taken over all of humanity. Fifth Age is much different than that. Sixth Age is sort of steampunk stuff. No, not steampunk. Renaissance era, whatnot. Age beyond that is steampunk. Age beyond that is diesel punk. So we can play with different genres within it, and there's so much unclaimed territory here that I'm not worried about too many stories bumping into it. It's particularly why we set Gamers 1,000 years above, or I should say we set Journey Quest 1,000 years before Gamers, so that the VIPs wouldn't bump into each other. Until they need to.
But I think this would be cool.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun.
Well, you've got Home.
I do.
So that takes place, at least in the Gamers universe.
And what's the status of Home?
Holland is a novel I wrote a few years back, set in the world of Farther All, and it's basically sort of World of Warcraft and Gamers, but the gameplay happens in the 6th stage, so that Renaissance era.
And Lawrence, if you're watching this, that's the answer to the question you keep asking. It's set in the 6th stage.
6th stage, Age of Reason.
Which age is the metaverse arc that we destroyed the world and brought it back?
Early 5th Age.
Early 5th age.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
It
And
was
you
awesome.
should watch that arc because there's some pretty important clues in there to what's happening.
How do I find that arc? Where do I watch it?
It's on our YouTube right now.
Yeah.
No,
Old Masters of
Old
Metaverse
Metaverse is on YouTube.
It's on YouTube because it's hyper RPG stuff,
Yeah.
We don't want to put it on, it's got all of their branding all over the screen, so.
Yeah, which is great.
You love it, go back and watch the episodes, they're great. If you don't want to, read the wiki, it tells you absolutely everything you need to know, and then just watch the 4 episodes of Project Metaverse that we have, and you'll be caught up.
It's a great point, actually.
Yeah.
That's how I designed that series, so people who've never watched before and just want to look at the wiki can look at the wiki, watch Project Members, now you know what's going on in the story.
So where can people get pwned?
I already know the answer to this question.
It's available on Amazon. You can get it through dead.market as well. You can get the ebook on Amazon.com. We're trying to haven't issued getting the print on demand hard copy version of it on Amazon, but we'll solve that eventually, so you can get a hard copy of that.
And it was on the Prime thing for a while too.
Yep.
Like you could actually, if you were a Prime subscriber, you could actually read it for free.
And you have a new novel coming out.
I do, yes. Hop Shop.
Oh my God!
So, Hop Jockey, to put it, I really don't know how to describe the world of kind of an American Doctor Who, Hitchhiker's Guide sort of thing that is the umbrella universe and all the other stuff that I've worked on and helped create from some European scenes that gentleman stretches over, connects. And it's, I've been putting clues and seeds and story elements throughout all the books since the original gamers, since even Demon Hunters. And the story of Hop Jockey finally begins to, some of those seeds begin to poke their leaves above the surface. You can see how everything else is even more interconnected. It is a sci-fi, fantasy, adventure across time, space, myth, and reality. And
So like if you watch Gamers 3, you might notice an interesting moment with an unusual flash. No, different one. Yeah.
in the large
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone subtitled that.
someone did subtitle that.
Yeah, what language are they speaking? That's
Now,
weird.
what are the chances that that will tie into Hop Jockey?
So that's, it's not out yet because of a kerfuffle in post-production. It's taking a year longer than was expected, but it is through editing. It's going into layout now. I'm hoping to have it out by September or so. The light copy of the backer kit link is still active. So if you go to backer kit and search for Hop Jockey, you can pre-order it there. Or you can find it, and I think pre-order it on Amazon. No, not Amazon, on Kickstarter, because that's where
And when it comes out, we will post about it on Facebook, and all of you will like and share and comment on it. So boost the signal.
We're creating a community, see?
Yeah. So Hop Jockey's in progress. Journey Quest is in progress. Should we talk about gamers?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I hated gamers for about 10 years because it felt like my entire life had been consumed by making gamers films. I wanted to make serious art.
You didn't laugh at again about it.
Yeah. And then I wrote a gamers film and realized, wow, gamers is really cool. And I grew into it. It's like, it's okay for comedy to be an artist. It's still okay to say. I can pull the stick out. Yeah, so we've done original gamers, we did Darkest Rising, we did Hands of Fate, Kids Households, Natural One, and then along came this idea of bringing back the cast from the original. And so we did Gamers Season 0, and then we shot the Gamers, the Shadowlands.
And when they pitched me on the idea, I said, no, we killed everyone, that's dumb. I had the same reaction, I didn't get it. And then saw it at Gen Con last year, and I'm like, I get it now. This is marvelous.
It's so good.
You wrote the funniest gamers movie yet? You asshole.
This means
He also shot the best looking gamers movie.
That's true, thank you, I've forgotten that part.
Realistically, what this means is maybe I'll have a chance of working with Matt Mansell on the next script so we can collaborate because he's so fun to work with. Oh my goodness, I'm getting it out. Okay. Anyway, so we have the Gamers of series, and presumably many of you saw the alternate ending that we shot, or the additional ending we shot for the Gamers Hands of Fate, where we, sorry about any spoilers if you haven't, but where, the party gets summoned to the Shadow's Chamber, and then the alternate ending is the fantasy characters show up in the real world, and then Nimble and Magellan and Rogar walk in the door and say, you're finally here, as we see the portals open again. And that really became the seed of it. It's like, okay, we know that now the original gamers are going to intersect with the Dorcas fantasy characters and have some adventures. how can we backfill that, and out of that came the idea of the gamers as a heist show, like Ocean's 11 or Leverage.
Leverage.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, Leverage is basically a D&D game.
Yeah.
We know.
Can't bank the road, so.
That's why I love it.
So everything mapped out. So what we're doing with the Gamers series right now, and we can do this indefinitely, is telling these heist stories leading up to the moment where they intersect. And when they intersect, we kind of plan that as, all right, that's Gamers 4. That's going to tie it all together. But then, as Matt and I were working on stuff, Gamers series with Journey Quest, we kind of realized, I alluded to this earlier, we have to stack our reveals carefully because there's character stuff that most of the people at this table don't know. That's gonna blow your minds. It's so cool. Yeah. So I don't know how many more Gamers series episodes we will do because a lot of that depends on how long it's going to take us to do Journey Quest. But the goal is we want to tell some awesome stories. Also, Aaron Williams has been following the adventures of Nodwick and a mysterious girl named Princess in Shadow's Lair. The comic book is available. The first arc of that is comic book available at our booth, which we did. It also has all the first season of the Teen Titans comic in it. So like we're tying all these pieces together because we want to keep telling amazing gamer stories. I don't know how many more episodes we'll do, but the plan is to write another one this month. Yeah.
You may not be able to answer that, but are you gonna do anything else with Counterman?
Matt Nessel, you want to answer that?
Well, we already are. Good. I'm working with Woody Arnold and Alex Foreman from the Miniature Dragon, which is an independent comics company. We ran out of them already, but we have the first Counterman comic, available at the booth. I think you can get it online, you can get it through. You can follow the link thread and you can get it through.
We have about another 1,000 copies available, and we're going to make them available to all of our Patreon supporters just for the cost of shipping. Because we want to get the story out and support it. So if you're a Patreon supporter, we're going to be messaging you soon about want a Counterman comic?
Yes. And so it's the first the story. One of the things that was so much fun putting the lore of Counterman together was a number of us, myself, Nathan, Matt Shimkus, were huge L5R fans. And this was a game that people were fiercely loyal to their clan, almost like team sports.
L5R is cool. They don't have this place.
That's true. And how over the course of play, the characters evolved and grew more experienced and died, and their children took over, and the landscape of the political world was changed based on gameplay in the real world. We alluded to in the movie that there were 15 years of this going on. Counterman comic begins at that first year when the displaced first arrived in Counterman. And I gotta say, and so
there's some Woody and I worked on a couple of that too.
I got the most surreal. So if you haven't seen it, the displaced are basically the American World War II guys present at the Los Alamos nuclear test in New Mexico in 1944-45. Hey, there we go. Very nice. And the explosion of the atom bomb warped them to Counterman in this version of the world. And in the 15 years later, you can see how they've evolved. You can see there's still the American iconography. They still wear the helmets and whatnot, but magic is real in this world. And they've intermarried with some of the locals and expanded because, hey, they've got the best technology in the world by a long shot, and their electricity is cut off. They've got limited fuel. They've got limited munitions, and they have to trade, and they land in the middle of a war. And this is the story of how they got there and what they did once they arrived.
One of the things you guys had mentioned was that basically the two of you were the ones who have all of the secrets for the world. You have taken the time to at least write down a generic storyboard, so if something, God forbid, happens.
They have to take separate flights already.
Matt Bensel and I have these conversations every once in a while, usually when I'm trying to solve a script problem. So I have a series of first drafts of various scripts where the back page is covered in all the scroll spoilers for the whole world.
But we have talked to Brandon Sanderson, so it's good.
Okay. I also wanted to bring up with countermay. Did anyone catch the huge countermay clue to how everything gets together in Shadow Minutes?
Yes, you did, Mark.
Alright, so now you know that there's a big clue hidden in plain sight in Shadow Minutes for how all this fits together. I look forward to realizing what it was in 10 years.
I only know because of a spoiler I heard in a thing that I heard at ZOE Fan that I will not spoil.
Excellent, thank you.
Same.
I did want to add that the AEG card game and expansion is a lot of fun.
It's a good game. They based it on Legend of the Burning Sands.
Yeah.
They went all out. It was the crazy. It was,
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was one of the neatest things for us, being fans of so many game designers and writers and whatnot. When we came here, and then suddenly we got to meet them and whatnot. I remember hanging out at the AEG booth once and met John Zinser, who's the president and CEO of the company. And we got to talking, and he's like, "Oh, I love the movie. That's great. Oh, I love your game. And perhaps later, I was like, really, you do? Just gave me a box. Here." Awesome. And so when it came time to do Gamers 3, and we were trying to say to do another RPG, we want to take the bigger leap and move it into a new game. And I emailed John. I was like, "So we're thinking of doing a CT sheet, and basically like a 2-hour love letter to L5R. Would it be cool if we actually made it a like AEG game with your logos? He says, we'll give you everything. We'll give you card art. This is Todd Rowland, our brand manager. Talk to him." And so the AEG guys designed all the art, they contracted the artists, they did all the logos, they printed everything, and then they actually made the game at that Gen Con. It was, yeah. It was
So you're saying these worlds are made out of love?
Right.
So, talking about all of that fun countermay stuff and the card game, the 15 years of lore, if someone were to say really attached to the character that they had from things and wanted to have that affect things, is there any way to maybe submit into that 15 years to the author and go, "Hey, this is a thing I love, is there any way you could..."
Probably.
When I first started right off the bat, and correctly if I'm wrong, you go to the Wiki and to start playing around with, that's been a great place for people who've written additional stories to.
I also think to the LARP scene, yes, really, wouldn't it be cool to see those characters appearing?
That's what I was...
That does remind me. We talked earlier about the World Bible and it being something that's ready to expand its stretch goals. One of the sections of that is other worlds. And the first of those is countermeasures. If this catches fire, then we'll actually, I'm sitting down and write some messages about countermeasures history.
And honestly, it could be cool down the road if they put the countermeasures in SCULA or release the whole World Bible.
Why not? It's a fantastic, fun setting.
Oh, yeah.
How much else out there like it?
Yeah.
We're doing that work in it.
Yeah. So, we have clearly have infinite time to release concepts and stories as quickly as we can. So,
I'm also hoping that they'll let me do the Metaverse RPG at some point. I would love to do that. I mean, we've got so much great story and stuff already just from the fan fiction that's been written that I would love to get those those rules put together in a book. Yeah, you still haven't learned them after 2 years.
Number one rule is crush Matt's soul.
I feel like we should talk about Demon Hunters and talk about a little the status of that project. So we're in the process right now of putting a Demon Hunters feature together. We've been in that process for years, and we will be in that process until we have a Demon Hunters feature, and we will make it.
That sounds good. That's about everything I have to say about it.
Yeah, so lots of really exciting ideas, and we can't wait to move forward.
Yeah, it's my favorite property that we have. And I can't wait. And with this SCULA means that I can actually make the thing I want now. And I'm going to.
Well, if only you knew someone who's being trained in all that Kickstarter expertise.
I just wish I did.
Yeah.
And the one thing I really wanted was we nailed that down last night. So, yeah, Nathan Rice is going to be helping.
Man's got skills.
And of course, I'll be calling that man for ZOE every day to help you too. But
What I love about the SCULA is that it completely eliminates the Dobbins dance early bottleneck. Like, if we don't have capacity, they can just go out and do their thing.
Mark, is there anything on the chat?
Yeah, we have 2 questions from chat.
Yeah.
So the first one is that Christian's real hair?
no, this is Crash's real hair.
What part of his body are you referring to?
Yeah, no, this is all being made.
And the second question is, if people want to watch Masters of the Metaverse, when and where do they find it?
So,
Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the ZOE Twitch channel.
In other words, hacks.
Twitch.tv/ZombieOrpheus.
Right. And then later, Fantasy Network if they missed the episode, or YouTube, or there will be lots of ways to watch the show. Thank you for asking. Probably hacks.
Yeah, I mean, just to keep pounding away at that same drum for a moment. Yeah, Masters of the Metaverse, I mean, arguably it's our first fully new live stream world that we've been creating the last year and a half or so. And it's really a great example of what happens when you allow just the chaotic creative chaos. This is why you write.
Yeah. Good job with the word.
But taking all of that chaotic creativity and putting it in that live stream format and allowing it to be, as you were saying before, as interactive as possible with the viewers. I mean, I know there are so many live stream RPGs out there, and that's great. I'm not trying to drop anything on anyone else. But one of the things we really wanted to do was to create an environment in which it was kind of a reflection of what we get to do every year at Gamers Live.
Which is to give the audience agency in the story.
Yes.
And it helps that you're all not only gamers, but improvisational actors.
Right.
Some of our best story ideas, come from chat or dealing with the aftermath of a decision that they made. So it's been really cool just because, I love these kinds of stories, but they're too big to tell in an independent film.
Yeah.
Because we've got superheroes and magical space princesses and Ninja Emily Dickinson.
And honestly, this is part of what's so exciting for all of our worlds. Like, let's say we have a Strowlers story that's just too big. We can go in and do a live stream miniseries. We can do that for gamers. We can do it for any of these. It lets us do some really epic stories in a format that works.
Yeah, it's huge.
I know we're running out of time here, but are there any final questions?
What was you guys were teasing a property called, was it Nine Tails? 7 Tails? Nine Tails. Yeah, I know it sounds like there's 8 million other things on the ladder in front of it, but I'm just wondering if anything planned for that or just...
So Nine Tails is one of those things that you may see Easter eggs and clues related to for a while, and you can appreciate not knowing what it is until it starts to make sense. You're not ready to do it.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Dance as eloquent.
Fake it.
Right.
Hold the power of blood sugar.
I guess we should just to kind of reiterate all of the economic sides of this. Patreon supporters, we're sitting out Countermade Comics. We'll have to get Chibi Champions to you.
You're not Patreon supporters? Become Patreon supporters!
You can log into the Fantasy Network and watch all of our stuff and all the other stuff. We're launching Rocket.
Does that includes Gamers Lives too,
Yes,
right?
yes, it does. All the Gamers Live. We are launching Rocket Men on Tuesday. It's going to be amazing. We screened at VidCon a couple days ago. The show is so cool. Make sure, trust me, it's worth your time. Also, Connor Marks is adorable.
Oh my God, Connor's not watching it.
Yeah, Rocket Man will be on the Fantasy Network, so.
Yeah, so that's launching on Tuesday.
If you don't know Connor Marks, he played Jace in Gamers 3 Heads of Fame.
We are doing a promotion because we want everyone watched the Shadow Menace. If you come by the booth, you can get this for free with any purchase.
I should say, if you, for people watching as well, people in here, if you are not a Patreon supporter, and you want to be into the Fantasy Network, if you back one mid die at the $25 level and up, you will get a subscription to the Fantasy Network as part of the backer reward.
And then you can watch Rocket Man.
Then you can watch Rocket Man. So,
Also, that is one other piece of news. So we've set up the Fantasy Network so that we can eventually flip a switch and be able to live stream on that directly through those apps. It's going to cost us about $10 grand a year to pull that off, and the live streaming isn't bringing in enough revenue at this point to do that. But I want you to know that when the time comes, we will gladly turn that on, and then eventually everything will be integrated and available through those apps. So anyway, yeah, lots of
let's watch the live stream.
yeah, lots of cool merch this year. My personal pitch to you is please check out Strowlers. I want you to come play in this world because then maybe Mongolian shamans will want to make movie with you.
That would be pretty cool.
They're really nice people.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Oh,
Yes.
hi. It's a panel.
Hi guys, I'm Sarah Sanders. I began in Masters in the Universe and above. I do other background stuff on other projects as well.
Yeah, you do. Hi, I'm Ben. I ate a bagel.
I'm Maggie Doyle, and I'm the crowdfunding manager of Fantasy Network. I'm also in Gamers Series as Charlie, and I'm in Gamers Live as Charlie here as well.
Hi, my name is Christian Doyle, and I'm in pretty much everything right now. Pick something. I probably at least showed up in it at one point. And I am the showrunner for Masters of the Metaverse and Project Metaverse. And I'm on the
My name is Chris Odie, and I don't know what I'm making on Masters of the Metaverse. I'm the guy who has to try to keep up with.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the showrunner.
Oh, there we go.
That's
Okay.
Oh, you're Sarah's husband.
And I coordinate all of our convention presence and things like Gamers Live and such. Which I guess I also come in.
Yeah, you almost won last night.
Damn you, Ethan!
No, it's really good.
It's too charming. It's ridiculous. I'm Matt Nadsville, King of Yosemite. I write stuff and occasionally tell actors where to sit.
And he's actually quite a hell of a performer.
So, welcome to the ZOE Fan Symposium panel. We're glad you made it out today. We will not be talking about anything or answering your questions. Have a nice day. I guess we're doing a Strowlers discussion meetup in this room at 1 for those people who are interested in diving deeply into the world. Give us tickets up here if you have them, or give them to Laura.
Hi. Laura. Laura.
Yes. So you've got time to get tickets.
Yes.
Sure. Great. Counts, right? It's my